చిన్నగా డ్రామా చిన్నెందుకు వాష్రూమ్కి వెళ్తే వెళ్ళొచ్చే తొందరగా వెళ్ళి వాష్రూమ్కి వెళ్తే వెళ్ళొచ్చే
So very warm welcome to all of you. We'll just wait for a couple of minutes for other teachers to join as well. And we have with us our PC chair, Janaki Ghosh. We have Sabita, who is the publicity committee co-chair. And we also have Dr. Dipali Savai, who's the organizing committee co-chair. And we have all the other CSPathshala family members joining in as well. And we have a lot of people from the organizing committee, publicity committee who are here to support you. So I will hand it over to Sabita.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. Do we wait for some more time? It is 4:01, maybe for another 4 minutes.
Yes, we can wait. Yeah. Okay. Teachers, in the meanwhile, why don't you put in your name and the school that you have come from so that, we also know. You can put it in the chat box.
कितना बजा से join बाप रे हमें हो
Good evening, ma'am.
Sabita, you want to start?
Right. I think we start, Sonia. Oh, okay.
Yes, please start.
Right. A very good afternoon to all. Welcome to Charcha, a platform where we can discuss for the abstract for the 5th conference on CTIS, that is computational thinking in school. See, we as educators always have a unique perspective on how we integrate computational thinking in our classroom, in our curriculum, or in fact, how we teach a particular concept to the students, having an impact on the students' learning outcomes. So the thought over here is by sharing your insights and experience through your abstracts, you will not only inspire other teachers or educators to incorporate the important skills into the teaching practices, but this will also give them a solution to certain challenges they face in teaching a particular concept. So maybe the teacher who's writing a paper should have found a solution to a problem, and that could help the other co-teachers or the fellow teachers, to try that particular method. So this is a vast platform where computational thinking, which now is a very, very integral part of the pedagogy of teaching and learning. So each one of you, if you're able to share out, your abstracts will be very valuable contribution for the fellow teachers, and not only for that, even for the educationalists who are doing research, to see how we can improve the teaching learning process in the classroom, how computational thinking can be applied in the classroom so that it impacts well in the learning outcome of our students. So with these few lines, I think let us start this Chai Pe Charcha. And more than me talking as part of the organizing committee, it will be good if you hear it from our own teachers, their experiences about the previous conferences where they had presented their abstract and shared their thoughts, their learnings, and the process. So I now request Sunita Moria from School of Scholars, Nagpur, to kindly share her learnings and understanding and the process which had taken in last year's conference where she had presented a paper. So Sunita, are you there? I think Sunita is yet to join.
So Satyanarayana sir is there. So
Yeah.
Satyanarayana sir, would you like to start?
Yeah, I can see him.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you start. If you could share your experience of last year with all of us.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Ma'am, due to poor network, I'm unable to on my video. Turn on
No
my video.
no worries, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Satyanarayana Murthy, maths teacher from Andhra Pradesh. During the implementation of CT in schools, TCS have initiated abstracts regarding the idea of computational thinking and its implementation in schools. All Andhra Pradesh social welfare schools across our state gave their presentations, and 7 out of them were invited to address the international conference held at ISER Pune campus. And I'm one among those 7 from my school. As it was pandemic time, I was the only person who stayed at the ISER campus physically and shared the abstract. I got such a beautiful opportunity, and staying in such a prestigious campus of India for 2 days is really has really influenced me a lot. I met the persons who had a vision for the transformation of education in India, and even I have seen the interest and contributions of the NRIs showing for this transformation to happen in India. There is no doubt in saying that conversating with them and listening to their views at ISER campus had opened. As a part of teacher community, This helps us to get new trends and approaches for implementing this computational thinking in classroom. And hence, we also can be a part of this education revolution. And my topic was actually making abstract algebra to concrete. And I have presented the algebraic identity a plus b whole square is equals a square plus 2ab plus b square. Rather than just the algebraic approach for this, I have shared my presentation in a geometric way where different components of computational thinking helps us in understanding and deriving this identity. In my presentation, I have divided a square of side a plus b into four regions, in which two are squares of sides A and B, and two will be rectangles length and breadth A and B respectively. Total area will be a plus b whole square, in which the total can be resolved into four components. One is a square and the other is b square, and the two other rectangles will have each two AB areas, and hence this sums to a square plus b square plus 2ab. And I have shown the various components of this computational thinking: abstraction, algorithm, decomposition, pattern recognition, each step by step, and I have presented at ISER campus. I really enjoyed the different presentations that were done in the ISER campus, and I feel it's a great opportunity for me to present here. And I'm eagerly waiting, if I am lucky, this year also to do my presentation there. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Satyanarayana Murthy. It was very good to hear your experiences, and hope that your abstract is selected this year also. Now, I think I can see Sunita Moria as well as Deepa Sharma, who had presented last year as a team for the CTIS 2022. So request them to share their thoughts on and their process and how they were able to reach there and their learnings. Over to you, both of you.
Thank you, Sabita ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Sonia ma'am, respected Geeta ma'am, respected Sabita ma'am. We are really happy and overwhelmed to get invited on this platform to share our experience. Me and Deepa, we both have presented a paper last year in CTI's conference. So so I think Deepa will start and Deepa will share. Deepa? Okay. In our school, we have adapted the computational thinking in 2017 by the integration in computers and maths. Computational thinking is actually a problem-solving approach that involves the breaking down of a complex problem into the simpler parts and develop step-by-step procedure for solving them. So in science, so me and Deepa both are a science teacher in their respective schools. So we also get more we wanted to understand what exactly the CT, can we apply the CT skills in sciences also? So then we have decided ki, let's try it in science also. And in this, Geeta ma'am helped us a lot. She motivated us and yes, learn about it and do it. So we decided to implement in project-based learning, right? In science, project is in every term we used to give some projects, right? So that is a good way to implement the computational thinking. And we have chosen the topic also, developing computational thinking using project-based learning in sciences. And our topic was water conservation, how and why. This is a topic, this is a topic from a lesson, standard 7, water, a precious resource. You are not audible, Deepa.
Deepa, you're not audible. No, your mic is not connected.
I'll continue. So when we have decided, yes, we will implement this computational thinking in our classroom, we tried it for the whole year, we practiced it out, and then we got an opportunity to present our paper in the fourth CTIS conference, and we have to prepare an abstract. So the process of preparing abstract was so organized. Like first, we have jotted down all our ideas on a paper. Then we have presented our ideas in front of Sonia ma'am, Geeta ma'am, and there is a panel of the mentors with us. They guided us that what is required and how can we organize it. They help us a lot in organizing the information as per the topic. So continuously, and last year also we enjoyed a lot Chai Pe Charcha sessions, which was very, very insightful and fruitful as a presenter for us. There we got an opportunity to meet all the presenters from all over the India. Everybody was joining. There are, other than our school, we are from MGS, and other than MGS, there were many other schools also joining on Chai Pe Charcha, where our mentors are telling us the common suggestions, and if persons are having any queries, so all the queries, they are sorting it out during the Chai Pe Charcha. And it was really, really a very enlightening sessions of Chai Pe Charcha. First, when it was said, yes, now we are going to meet it on Chai Pe Charcha, so it was a big question, what we are going to do over there. But it was really very, very open session where you can ask, you can discuss anything. And our mentors are very, very helpful, and they are always guided us. And because of their help, we can able to create a wonderful paper to present it on the CTIS conference. And because of our mentors, respected Sonia ma'am, Geeta ma'am, Sabita ma'am, I just wanted to share that it was get selected, and it was published in Right Angles magazine. So that is because of the mentors who have helped a lot to prepare a good paper and help us to guide it. And at that ICER campus, it was really staying over there was an amazing experience for us. And second, while presentation, we have seen so many new presenters and their ideas. Like that was the first time we as a science teacher, basically, because before that we were thinking it is only up to the computers and mathematics, it is restricted. But there we have seen the paper presented by the Sanskrit teacher, paper presented by the science teacher and language teachers. Like computational thinking is applicable in every field that we know when we have attended the session at ICER Pune. So it was really, and this time my school is preparing for language English. So this kind of a motivation, and from there only we got to know, yes, computational thinking is not restricted to computers and mathematics. It can be, it is applicable, and it is whatever we are doing it, that the computational thinking work. This year also, we have done some of the projects, and I'm trying to convert it into the paper and hope so it gets select in this year also, and I'm going to present something good. There a lot of hand-ons during breaks, you know, not a single minute in that campus was like less than a learning, right? Wherever you move off now, everywhere you are learning something. Like during the breaks also, there is a working area where we used to go, and we don't wanted to go for a lunch even. We are so engaged in the activities which was organized over there. So it was lot of hand-on activities, lot of experiential learning. Being a teacher also, it was really a very, very good platform.
Sunita, we have lost your voice.
It is coming like host has muted us.
Okay.
Sorry. So like the recess hours are also full of learning at that campus and during the program. So I really thankful to CTIS, which make me believe that yes, computational thinking is working
Possible in science.
yes, everywhere. And we are really working. This time also I tried with the 2 different topics with computational thinking. And I'm really thankful to Sonia ma'am and our very own Geeta madam, who always inspired us to try it out and implement in other real life situations. So thank you, CTIS.
And we would like to say all the best or best of luck to all the new abstract writers so
And
that
the
they can
presenters.
successfully present their papers at CTIS conference.
Because we have very good handholding. This is my first experience in any paper presentation where I'm getting lot of handholding, which is really very appreciable. Thank you, ma'am, for giving this support.
Yeah, so Sabita, here we have to tell that what Sunita and Deepa shared was absolutely right. In the conference in ISER, it is so difficult to get the teachers back into the classroom. They all want to be outside. They all want to try different activities. So the Chai Pe Charcha is not just to motivate you or share experience about just being an abstract presenter. There is so much co-learning happening. So thank you so much, Sunita and Deepa. And I'll tell you one personal experience that when the magazine Right Angles published the articles, right? So we had 2 articles from Andhra Pradesh Social Welfare. We had Sunita and Deepa's, and we had one from Kalmadi School. You see, it was indeed, we were so gratified. We were so happy that our teachers got that place. So thank you so much, teachers, for all the effort that you're putting in. Yeah, over to you, Savita.
Ma'am, because of your support only.
All because of all you all, we were there or we were able to present our paper. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Deepa and Sunita, thank you very, very much. Rightly put in. It was really a wonderful co-learning over there with a lot of takeaways, how we do in the classroom, what can be done, and the learning as well as the networking and the connectivity which takes further from the conference. Now we have with us Mrs. Sureka Nikam from Khed Taluka. Sonia, would you like to share something about Mrs. Sureka?
Yeah, Sureka Dai, ale na tumi? Ale, okay. So just to quickly brief all of you, we have been working in Khed Taluka with schools, all the Zilla Parishad schools, and I want to also tell you that none of those teachers are computer teachers, right? So these are Prathmik Shala from standard 1 to 7, and it is our all subject teachers. They don't even have a dedicated period, right? So what they do is, in the no school bag day, they will conduct various CSPathshala activities. And I will leave the storytelling to Sureka because I think it's important if Sureka tells it. So Sureka?
Yes, ma'am.
Bola.
सर्वांना नमस्कार. गेल्या वर्षाचा अनुभव शेअर करण्यासाठी आपण इथे आमंत्रित केलं त्याबद्दल पुनश्च एकदा आपल्या सर्वांना धन्यवाद देते. आणि मी मराठीतूनच बोलणार आहे. गेल्या वर्षी मराठीतून बोलले होते.
नो प्रॉब्लेम सुरेखा, बोलो.
ओके मॅम. आमची जिल्हा परिषदेची शाळा आहे आणि जवळपास 4-5 वर्ष झाले मी CS पाठशाला सोबत जॉईन आहे. आणि हे सर्व श्रेय आहे आमचे आदरणीय गट शिक्षणाधिकारी कोकणे साहेब आणि आमच्या खेड तालुक्यापर्यंत CS पाठशाला आणि बेब्राज चॅलेंज यांनी पोहोचवलं त्या आदरणीय सोनिया मॅडम आणि विपुल सर. तर यांना जातं. CS पाठशाला म्हणजे काय, कॉम्प्युटेशनल थिंकिंग म्हणजे काय हे त्यांनी सर्व काही आम्हाला समजून सांगितलं आणि त्यानुसार आम्ही वर्गामध्ये आणि आमच्या शाळांमध्ये तो उपक्रम राबवायला सुरुवात केली. आणि त्या अनुषंगाने बेब्राज चॅलेंज पण आम्ही स्वीकारत आहोत 4 वर्षांपासून. तर त्याच्यामध्ये आम्हाला खूप छान यश मिळालं. आमची पहिल्या वर्षी 5 मुलं फर्स्ट रँक, सेकंड रँक मध्ये होती आणि गेल्या वर्षी पण 5 मुलं फर्स्ट रँक मध्ये आणि 10 मुलं सेकंड रँक मध्ये आली होती. तर त्याच्याबद्दल मॅडमने मला सांगितलं होतं की तुम्ही तुमचे अनुभव शेअर करा, ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट शेअर करा. आणि त्यानुसार मी ते ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट पाठवलं आणि त्याचं सिलेक्शन झालं आणि आम्हाला जी सुवर्ण संधी मिळाली आयसरला येऊन ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट प्रेझेंट करण्याची अनेक उपक्रम घेतले. रेग्युलर टीचिंग बरोबर हे उपक्रमही ते आम्ही राबवत होतो. तर खूप छान अनुभव आहे. छोट्या छोट्या समस्या मुलांना कशा समजून द्यायच्या याचं आम्हाला टेक्निक मिळालं आणि त्या पद्धतीने आम्ही वर्गात ते राबवत होतो. पण गेल्या वर्षी जे ऍबस्ट्रॅक्ट प्रेझेंटेशनचा 2 दिवसांची कार्यशाळा झाली त्याच्यामध्ये खूप काही शिकायला मिळालं. वेगवेगळ्या राज्यातील वेगवेगळ्या देशातील लोकांनी आपल्या शाळांमध्ये कसे उपक्रम राबवलेत, छोट्या छोट्या समस्या मोठ्या समस्या छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टीतून कशा समजून द्यायच्या विद्यार्थ्यांना ते पाहायला मिळालं. त्यांचे अनुभव ऐकायला मिळाले आणि विशेष म्हणजे मुलांनी बनवलेले विविध गेम, शिक्षकांनी तयार केलेले विविध साहित्य हे पाहायला मिळालं. खूप छान वाटलं. त्याच्यामुळे नवीन आयडिया आम्हाला मिळाल्या आणि आपणही आपल्या वर्गामध्ये अशा पद्धतीने हा उपक्रम राबवू शकतो किंवा असे छोटे छोटे गेम आपण आपल्या वर्गामध्ये घेऊ शकतो आणि त्या पद्धतीने प्रत्येक विषय आपण कॉम्प्युटेशनल थिंकिंगने घेऊ शकतो. हे गेल्या वर्षाच्या कार्यशाळेमध्ये पाहायला मिळालं. कार्यशाळेमध्ये एवढे विविध देशातले विविध राज्यातले लोक होते, पण नियोजन सुद्धा खूप व्यवस्थित होतं. अतिशय छान नियोजन होतं, सूत्रबद्धता होती आणि सगळ्यांना बोलण्याची संधी मिळाली. हे एक महत्वाची गोष्ट आहे. ऑनलाईन ऑफलाईन दोन्ही पद्धतीने आपलं प्रेझेंटेशन सादर करण्याची संधी दिलेली होती. मी ऑफलाईन सहभाग घेतला होता आणि माझ्याबरोबर आमच्या तालुक्यातील आमचे गट शिक्षणाधिकारी आणि माझे सहकारी शिक्षक बंधू भगिनी जवळपास 15-20 लोक आम्ही तिथं उपस्थित होतो आणि सगळ्यांना खूप आनंद झाला. नवीन आयडिया मिळाल्यामुळे, नवीन प्रोजेक्ट पाहायला मिळाल्यामुळे आम्ही सगळे खूप खुश झालोत. असंच पुन्हा पुन्हा संधी आम्हाला मिळावी ही अपेक्षा मी करणार आणि ती तुम्ही देत राहणारच आहात. तर खूप खूप धन्यवाद देते. असंच आमच्या मुलांपर्यंत आपण पोहोचणार आणि आम्हाला संधी देणार अशी अपेक्षा करून या ठिकाणी मी थांबते. धन्यवाद मॅडम.
Yeah, thank you, Surekha. Pratiksha, you're on the call, right? So Pratiksha was her mentor last year. Pratiksha? Okay, I'll quickly translate. So what Surekha was trying to explain was that Surekha comes from a Zilla Parishad school, and for the last 5 years, they have been constantly, taking a subset of the CSPathshala activities, implementing it, encouraging children to participate in the Babris challenge. What she shared was that last year, especially after COVID, their school did not even have internet connectivity. And, they conducted the Babris challenge in the house of the Sarpanch. Okay.
Yes.
And what ended up happening was that's what Surekha I was telling you, that they had Babris rank holders 1, and I would like to also share with you that Surekha went beyond her own school. She trained a lot of other children from different schools on the Babris challenge, and she found the CTIS experience a very good learning experiences, where she saw presentations not only from different schools in India, but also from overseas, and a lot of new games and activities that she could take back to her classroom. Thank you, Surekha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, teachers, for sharing your experience.
Do we have Pratiksha here? Can we go ahead with the format of the abstract and?
Yeah, we can. Otherwise, we can start with Janaki. We can have Pratiksha later.
That's later. Okay. Janaki, are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, Janaki. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
So we should introduce Janaki first, right?
No, that's. Should I introduce myself or?
Fine.
Yes, sure.
Sure.
Yeah, this is
Okay,
Chai Pe
so,
Charcha. I hope you have got
Not
your
a
chai.
formal, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's very heartening to see so many people from across the country join this Chai Pe Charcha on the CTIS 2023, and it is my privilege and honor to be the co-chair along with Nikhil Karkare in this conference. Of course, I am my interest in computational thinking is more recent. I'm a math educator, and I teach at the Lady Shri Ram College, University of Delhi. And I recently got introduced about 2 years ago, I should say. And yes, though I have been a part of many national math education conferences, I find this CTIS and this entire initiative to be really a welcome initiative, because the national education policy is talking about it, though in a very glib manner. It just mentions it very briefly, and it has linked mathematical thinking and computational thinking in a very small paragraph in the entire document. But there is so much to do, and another important thing about computational thinking is that it indeed cuts across subjects. So, that's something we wanted to bring out, I think, and this is going to be the 5th annual conference. So I think the initial conferences focused on understanding, developing our own indigenous understanding about what is computational thinking and what all can be done in classes of different subject areas, perhaps, though maybe, the activities discussed earlier may have been focused more on computer science and mathematics, but slowly we are, gravitating to a situation where it's even the teachers who just shared with you are very interesting examples of computational thinking and even science class and so on. So I just would like to briefly share the call for maybe everybody has seen possibly the call for abstract, but maybe should I share my screen? I'll just share my screen.
You can share it, right?
Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, just give it a
It's a blank screen.
Can you see the abstract?
No,
The call for abstract?
no. It's a white screen.
I don't know. I'm not getting that sharing. It just says share the whiteboard. That's all.
No, you have an advanced option on the top. You have a basic and advanced. Click on the share. On the top, you have a basic and advanced. So click on the advanced.
There's a new share. Oh, okay. 1 second. Yes. Just a minute. Is it now okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think people who have seen this call for abstract have, so that again, so everybody was, sharing the wonderful experience they had in ISER Pune last year. And so very nicely, we are going to have the conference again in ISER Pune on 7th and 8th of July, which happened to be a Friday and a Saturday. And it is also being co-hosted by City Pride School, which is, I think it's great that local schools are putting in their, efforts and initiative to make this conference happen. So it's an event organized by the ACM and CSPathshala community. And of course, the aim is to basically bring together, it's a platform for teachers, educators, experts to share their best practices, as well as, when you're doing something new, you do face challenges, you face problems, you have to negotiate with your school, school, environment and your staff. And so all that, needs to come out. So the discussions in this conference also will focus on integrating CT activities, both plugged and unplugged. So plugged activities are those which involve the use of computers, and unplugged which may not use computers. And more importantly, what are the outcomes on student learning across subjects when you integrate computational thinking? So we will have two, at least as of now, we are already in the process of planning the program. So we'll have 2 invited lectures by very eminent international speakers. We'll have Indian speakers also joining in a panel discussion on integrating computational thinking in the K-12 curriculum and what is the way forward. We'll have a workshop session. And of course, we are planning other activities as well. But most importantly, we need teachers to come out and present their work and their understanding of computational thinking. And so the paper presentation session, the topics that have been selected this year are very similar to last year, but with maybe a few changes here and there. So I hope everybody can see the list of 11 top, themes under which you can submit your abstract. If you feel that the work that you've done does not exactly fit into any of these 11, it does not matter. You can also you can still send it to us, and we will try to help you out. So as you see that there is, the previous year's participants have explained that there is a mentoring process involved. And that we feel is one of the important aspects of this, making this a successful conference, because ultimately it is the teachers who have to take forward this in their classrooms. So we want more participation from teachers across the country. So CT and coding, CT-based unplugged activities in any subject domain. It could be CT for students. If some special needs students engage in computational thinking through some activities or tasks, that would be a wonderful thing to share in this conference. Mathematics education, of course, is something which can be easily linked with CT, and so also science education, social science education, sustainability. So all these are areas and topics. CT and physical computing. So if somebody has created a small device or a robotic device or something like that, something which uses sensors, and it's a working model which entails computational thinking, even that would be a very exciting thing to look at in this conference. So now I'll just close this and I'll share just an example sample. You see, it is. Oh, sorry. Is the sample abstract visible?
No.
Oh, so do I have to reshare it again? No, I'll have to share it again, sorry. So when I do advanced share, which option should I take? Because again, it is asking for.
Or do you want to share that video which you had shared?
No, I want to share my sample abstract, which is a Word document. But I'm getting.
What are the options you're getting?
In a basic, basic mein aa raha hai.
Yeah.
Theek hai.
Right.
Yeah. Now can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is just a example. For example, how would you write out the abstract? So this template, and there are other templates which you can access when you click on the abstract template link in the call for abstracts. So just how would you go about? So first of all, your abstract must have a title, and the title should not be very long. It's a short title which broadly gives an idea of what your abstract is based on. So for example, like there is very well-known, it's a kind of a puzzle called coin weighing problems or counterfeit coin problems. So there are this set of coins which look identical, and one of them is defective. So the defective coin in either ways is heavier or lighter than the other coins, but they look the same. So the question is, with a minimum number of, what is the minimum number of weighings required to identify the defective coin? It's like a puzzle. So suppose this is just an example. Of course, I mean, I personally have tried this out with students of grade 8 and 9, but you could write it like this: coin weighing problems leading to computational thinking. Because computational thinking, of course, needs to be elicited through your work or whatever you're trying to show. Then you need to mention your names, your school affiliation. This is very important, email address, because without this, we will not be able to revert back to you. So this is something that you must mention. In the entire abstract, you can have a short, maybe 150. These words are not, I mean, this can change slightly here and there, plus or minus, it doesn't matter. You can have a short explanation as to what you have done in your abstract, or what the study that you are explaining, or whatever you are explaining. So for example, here we are saying we have explored some interesting variations of coin weighing problems in our school mathematics classes. We feel this was an excellent problem in which students elicited mathematical thinking as well as computational thinking. This was conducted during mathematics lab periods with students of grades 8 and 9. We found that the problem was helpful in attracting students and getting them interested in problem solving. This is just an example. However, we are not sure whether this leads to improvement in learning. So even in your introduction, you can say that we looked at this seemed to be a positive aspect of what we found out, but however, we are not sure about something. So basically an honest appraisal of what you feel came out of your study or whatever the exploration that you were doing. So short introductory few lines. Then you can move on to the background, because we need to also know the background of your school, where you are situated and where you are really coming from. So information on the school, when established, number of students and grades in the school. This is a general information about the school. Gender ratio, socioeconomic background. So for example, if my sorry, I think so basically here we, since the example of the problem that I am talking about involved mathematics, suppose it's in computer science teachers. So it would be good to share how many mathematics teachers are in the school, how many of them were involved in this exploration or task, how many computer science teachers are there, was this done with the purpose of integrating computational thinking, how many periods in a week are devoted to computational thinking in a week if it's a part of your curriculum and so on. So this is just giving a background of your school, which will be helpful to the people who are, going to review your abstracts. Then description of how. So for example, here the title is coin weighing problem exploration. So how were the students how did the students go about this process of exploration? So you could say students were presented with the following problem and they had to propose a solution. So this is the problem that, you're given a 2-pan balance and let's say there are 9 coins of identical appearance, of which one weighs less than the other. So that's the faulty coin. So what is the least number of weighings required to identify the faulty coin? And no weights are given to you. So you can weigh the coins against each other, but you can't, you don't have other weights. So what is the minimum number of weighings you require? Because all the coins look identical. So this was the problem. So I'm not getting into the solution of this problem, though that's a very interesting one. But briefly describe the classroom situation and environment. Now, was this done in a mathematics lab? Was it integrated in a regular maths class? If in the maths class, then which topic was being done at that time? Why did the teacher decide to do that? So basically, when you are describing something, the entire scenario in which you did this exploration should be mentioned. What are the logistics arrangements that were required to conduct the task? So that would be one small section. Then this is the most important section with students. What did they do? How did they go about the exploration? So a short account of students thinking and their proposed solution. What kind of solution did the students give to this problem, for example? How did you encourage students to express their solution? So they may not have arrived at the solution right away, but they would have approached the problem. So what was the starting point? Okay. Scaffolding by the teacher. How did you scaffold their thinking? What questions did you ask to steer students' thinking to arrive at a solution? Did you provide a set of tasks? So did you leave it open-ended to the students, or did you give them a set of tasks? I mean, both are fine, absolutely fine. So whatever you actually did should be reflected in the abstract. What kind of tasks did you design? Did you do anything on the board? Was there any written blackboard work which helped students to come up? For example, in one of the situations, I had to tell students when they could not exactly figure out what happens with 9 coins, then we asked them to consider simpler cases. What would happen if there were only 2 coins or 3 coins or 4 and 5? Then they could see a pattern, and this helped them to generalize the pattern. Then were there extensions to the problem? Did students come up with their own extensions? Like in the case that I'm talking about, students started saying, oh, now we should look at what will happen if there are 12 coins and one of them is defective. And somebody else then popped up and said, why 1 coin? It could be 2 coins also which are defective. Then how would the problem change? So instantly we saw students work. And of course, there is nothing too mathematical about this. It was all computational thinking taking place. Wherever you can, you should give snapshots of students thinking. It could be a video link. It could be a snapshot of the solution given by a student. Of course, appropriate permissions should be taken. I mean, that's the right thing to do. So if you can, just inform students that your data is being used for writing of a paper or for presentation and so on. The final section would be the analysis, where you present, like in this particular example, students' responses in terms of interest, learning. Did this problem, what were the students' initial reaction? Initially, they might have been hesitant to solve the problem, but as time went by, they came up with the solution. was the nature of solution that they proposed? Was it a pictorial? Like in my experience, most of the children wanted to draw a flow chart or a decision tree. And that was an excellent way of representing the solution. And that entails computational thinking. Was it in the form of a table or was it numerical? And how did the solution given by them elicit computational thinking, or in this case, mathematical thinking, or both? And what was the students' feedback? What did they feel about the problem? And so on. Like, many students said, why can't we have such problems in our regular maths classes and so on, all those kind of things. So you should share those also. Any comments on logistics and practice, anything about teacher trying that, any important aspects, because when you're doing something a little aside from the curriculum, you have to negotiate with your school, you have to negotiate for space, you have to negotiate for people's time, and all those lead to challenges. And so those things should be mentioned, because somebody reading your abstract would get inspired when they would see that you've actually shared a real situation where learning took place via computational thinking. And of course, in the end, there could be a small concluding paragraph. And if you have used any references from somewhere, that would also be wonderful. So this is just an example, and I think I will stop here because I just wanted to share one small example it's a kind of a template, but so, and similarly, there's one on Sudoku problems when you click on the link to the in the abstracts, call for abstracts. And I think there is one on the birthday puzzle. So the format is quite similar, what I have shared here. So this is just a template to help you. And I don't think the abstract should be too long. The abstract that you sent overall should not run into more than 2 A4 pages. I'm not going to keep a cap. Sonia, we are not keeping a cap on the number of words, right? So we are not like saying 1,000
Generally,
words.
their abstracts are quite brief.
So
Yeah.
maximum 2 pages. Like this is also sort of running into 1.5 pages. So not more than that.
Yeah. Sometimes if there are some photographs or something, then 2.5 pages. Otherwise, it's generally that length.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what I had to share. So we really look forward to interesting examples of interesting abstracts from all of you. And then I think I'll stop here. Thank you. Is there any queries related to what I discussed and shared? You're most welcome to ask.
Yeah, I think we have the floor open for the queries. Any kind of questions they have regarding the topic or under which category it falls. Anything they're most welcome to ask. Yes, teachers, you can switch on your camera or your microphone and most willingly.
Even if you want to share an idea, you want to ask Janaki, you want to ask Geeta, and Sabita, we also have Dipali with us.
Okay, hi
Dipali
Dipali.
Savai. So Janaki mentioned City Pride. So we have Dipali, and City Pride has been one of our pilot schools of CTIs right from CSPathshala right from 2016. So it's really nice to have them as our partners. Dipali, are you there? Yeah.
The audio is
You're on mute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. So first of all, Sonia, what I would like to congratulate you and CSPathshala team, all of you, because see what I have seen, like most of the schools, they are doing so many things, but what happens, when it comes to computational word, rather compute word, everybody starts thinking that it is something related to only computer. And then they don't think that we should participate in this CTIS conference. So this time I have spoken to many teachers, science and maths and social studies, even our performing art department teachers also I have spoken to, because in performing arts also there is computational thinking, which they have been doing, but they don't understand that they are using those like decomposing and then finding out a pattern and then putting it or thinking algorithmic way. So I've spoken to them, and hopefully like they'll write the paper. And writing a paper, like in school, teachers, they feel that writing a paper and then reading it in a conference, it is like something which I will not able to do. That is what still the school teachers feel. But then because of this conference, I think that this will start happening, like more and more teachers would participate. And hopefully we will have more papers this time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dipali. So teachers, anybody wants to share anything? The chai pe charcha is for you. See, we don't have chai here, and Jonaki told me this valid thing.
Chai already
chai
khatam hua
नहीं
hai.
है, chai नहीं और चाय पे चर्चा का टाइम भी 4 बजे का था. पर अब इसलिए मैंने जब व्हाट्सएप मैसेज भी डाला तो मैंने बोला प्लीज अपनी चाय लेकर आना. बट एट आइजर वी प्रॉमिस you will get chai and vada pav and chai and samosa, whatever you want. So, but first we would like to hear from you. Hey, anybody? Okay, Jonaki, the question is for you.
Okay.
The chat box have a couple of questions. Right?
On what basis is an abstract selected?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, the abstract, first of all, it should really involve computational thinking in it. It should not be just a description of any activity, but whatever is the activity, it should clearly state that these are the ways in which computational thinking was brought about or elicited by the students. It has to be succinct, and it should not be very elaborate. It should be clear. There should be, even the abstract may be brief, but it should be very clearly stating what was done, what was the aim, what was the objective, and what was really done in the study. So I think the clarity of thought and the task, how interesting was the task. Although most of the activities I'm sure teachers do are very interesting to learners, but if you can justify it in your abstract, that what was the student learning? How did the student benefit from this exercise that you did? That would be really helpful and should make for a very good abstract.
I think there's one question on, can we summarize how CT skills used in examples or theorems in mathematics, theorems in higher standards? CT skills used in examples or theorems in higher standards.
Higher classes, yes. Can we summarize? Do you wish to write write your abstract on this topic, or? Because
Kishori Shimpri, can you
good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
I just want to know that can I write a review type paper? Just I can write on the basis of 2 or 3 sums or 2 or 3 theorems where I can recollect, or I can find out where city skills are used in either examples or in theorems. Review paper.
yes,
just like that.
You're saying that you haven't tried it out with students, but you want to explain that. So then you have to make it very convincing, and you have to justify that why. Suppose you are talking about a mathematical problem, right? If you can distinguish between, it's hard and there's a very subtle difference between mathematical and computational thinking. So if you can help to distinguish that, given this problem, if it is done in this way, or if the students are made to explore the problem in this manner, then this is how they will engage in computational thinking ideas, or they will be engaging in computational thinking. Yes. But these things become more convincing when they're actually tried out with students. But if you can write a convincing abstract, then I don't see there should be any problem. So for example, in fact, in some of, I gave a talk a few times earlier, and there is a topic, fractals. Now, fractals is not really a part of the school curriculum, but it does, when you make children study fractals at whatever age they have to engage in both mathematical and computational thinking. So in some of my papers, I've cited those examples, but then when I tried them out with students, only then I understood how does it actually work. Because as a teacher, I may plan certain things, but it may not work out exactly that way when you're actually administering it to students in class. So ideally, yes, but if it's a good abstract in which, you can explain the ideas well and how they should be, carried out with students, then even that could be a useful. So do go ahead and send. So
We have a question saying, can they submit the abstracts in Gujarati? Because the teachers from Gujarat.
Yeah, they
yes,
can.
they can. We will get it translated and we'll find somebody who can
Review it, yeah.
can review it. Yes, definitely.
Teachers, please
We do
feel
not wish
free.
language to be a barrier.
barrier.
In this situation, because we are talking about computational thinking, and we need to integrate it everywhere. So I don't think language should be a barrier. Yes, we have said English, Hindi, and Marathi, but then doesn't matter if there's some other language. We will certainly find a reviewer who can, or a mentor who can guide you with that.
Yes. Anyone else have any other queries? Any doubt? It could be very simple, or the approach, how we want to take up, or the topic, anything. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can use the chat box. Any teachers from the earlier conferences would like to share their experience? We had a couple of online also, so it could be either the physical one or the online one. Any teachers would like to share their experience? Sonia, would you like to add something?
No, basically here you can just, even like how one of the teachers asked about the proofs, right? You can ask that I want to write an abstract of teaching this concept in class. Anything that comes to your mind, all of us are there to guide. So basically the whole idea here to have this call is so that, if there is even a small doubt in your mind, feel free to ask, right?
Yeah, I also.
मैं
Yeah.
Yes, please
गुड
go ahead.
नॉन
हाँ मित्तल बोलो, हिंदी में भी बोलो तो चलेगा,
हिंदी में चलेगा क्योंकि
दौड़ेगा।
मैं तो गुजराती मीडियम में पढ़ाती हूँ,
बोलिए, हिंदी में बोलिए।
I belong to Gujarat, so I can't speak in throughout English.
कृपा है मीतल, कृपा है, अगर गुजराती में बोलना है गुजराती में बोलिए, कृपा ट्रांसलेट कर देगी।
ओके गुजराती मैंने कृपा मैम से थैंक्स फॉर कृपा मैम, बिकॉज क्योंकि कृपा मैम ने मुझे बहुत हेल्प की है, इसलिए, और कृपा मैम को मेरी लैंग्वेज समझ में आ जाएगी। मैं उन्हीं के कांटेक्ट में हूँ, उससे ही सब मैंने हाँ सब में गाइडेंस मैंने कृपा मैम से ही लिया था।
करेक्ट, तो आप लिखिएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, आप लिखिएगा जरूर।
मैंने कृपा मैम से बात की थी और कृपा मैम ने मुझे बोला था कि अब गुजराती में लिखना और मुझे भेजना, मैं रिव्यू भी कर दूंगी। उसने भेजा भी है मैंने मैम को, और उसने मैम ने मुझे बोला कि मैं रिव्यू करके आपको बताऊंगी।
ठीक है, चलेगा।
ओके,
थैंक यू सो मच मीता।
थैंक यू।
I think there's a question here from Hasmukh ji, who's saying that अभी तो ये abstract 150 words वाला है, तो नहीं तो abstract तो एक ही होगा, वो ऊपर जो लिखा हुआ इंट्रोडक्शन सिर्फ 150 वर्ड्स लिखा था, एंड देन दैट्स नॉट, वो कोई जरूरी नहीं है। तो लेकिन पूरा आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट हमने कोई वर्ड लिमिट नहीं रखा है, तो 2 पेजेस का मैक्सिमम होना चाहिए, 2 A4 पेजेस। सो एक ही बार एब्स्ट्रैक्ट सबमिट करेंगे आप, लेकिन उसको हम मेंटर्स आपको हेल्प करेंगे, उसको दे विल गिव आइडियाज टू इम्प्रूव योर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट और हेल्प यू कल्टिवेट दोज आइडियाज इन अ बेटर वे, ताकि आप उसको फाइनल फॉर्म में ला सके प्रेजेंटेशन के लिए, इफ योर एब्स्ट्रैक्ट इज एक्सेप्टेड। Unfortunately, ideally, we would like to accept all abstracts, but we will have to do a selection process because time is limited. But that doesn't matter, because suppose you do submit and by some this thing, it does not get selected this year, the same idea can always be developed further for a future conference. So it's not, I feel that the process of writing for teachers, especially school teachers, is very important. When you start, the conferences give us a sort of a goal that, you know, you have to write for this. But thereafter, you know, for example, somebody mentioned that their article came in at right angles, and that's so wonderful. Because even in At Right Angles, I am one of the editors of that magazine, and we are constantly looking for articles from school teachers. But we don't get, because teachers are hesitant to write, though they have excellent ideas and they're doing sometimes even path-breaking things in their classrooms. But what nobody is getting to know about them, you know. If you write about them and publish somewhere, that would be an excellent. And maybe CTI, CSPathshala and CTIS, we can in future bring out proceedings of conference where, you know, abstracts can get published also. So we are a work in progress, but I would really encourage everybody to write and send their abstracts, and I'm sure good things will come out of that. Yes, somebody said he want to write an abstract on motion in physics. Yes, so if you send the initial your idea, then we can get the right kind of person to guide you and mentor you on that. I'm not really a physics person, but I'm sure that when you have taught motion, if you have used certain models or you've certain experiments with your students and you taught that to your students, description of that and how computational thinking was a part of that, if you bring that out through your abstract, that would be great. And we can get somebody on the panel who's into physics to help you out with that. So I'm happy to see that people are even looking at higher level, you know, content material, and they're thinking about integrating computational thinking. So right from the primary years to senior secondary, the gamut is huge, and there is a huge possibility of, you know, integrating computational thinking just about any level of any subject. So I hope.
So Jonaki, we can also ask Geeta to share. Geeta is also a math person. Yes. So Geeta, if you could share some ideas for them to write.
Yeah, good evening all of you. Thank you, Sonia. And I think today's Chai Pe Charcha is not very casual one, but this has brought many flavors and ideas in front of teachers. So I think Jonaki has already put up many ideas, because I always believe, see, mathematics can be, you know, this is the most obvious subject where we can easily bring computational thinking in. But still in mathematics class, getting CT is challenge, because it has its own bulky curriculum, concepts, and other skills to develop. But as we tried, there are a lot of scope, there are a lot of opportunities which teachers can bring in. I feel the mathematics lab or a club, if you are working with, then this is a wonderful idea to get your abstracts on that, which Jonaki has already put up the one idea of fractal and the probability, that one concept. I think. So that's, there are many other such opportunities, mathematics, that you can get in. And do not hesitate to put your ideas on the paper, because you all do many wonders in the classroom. But we as a teacher are not aware that this is so wonderful or this is so creative. So when we share it in the conference on such platform, I think then only it gets recognized. So it's very important to come forward without any hesitation. And everybody, even last year, people have got this experience because there's a mentoring. So we learn a lot through the mentoring and the through the discussions that we do through the process of making abstract and selection of abstracts. So only not maths, but as you have seen, there are questions coming up for science also. So please do let us know any topic that if you get the how computational thinking approach you are integrating or how you elicit that approach, you are welcome. And I'm sure that everybody is going to get a wonderful experience in the conference because there are a lot of engagements, good kind of very, very enriched and engaging speakers, and the whole experience, co-teachers experience help each one, the one who participates in the conference. So all the very best to each one of you, and looking forward to meet you in the ISER Pune.
Can I add to that a little bit?
Yes, please,
Yes,
Jonathan.
yes.
So, in fact, I was talking to an English teacher the other day, and one of the tasks that they explained they were doing was, I think it's probably a common task, but it was interesting. So, one is that there is a sort of a paragraph, very short paragraph, a story outline, and the sentences are all jumbled in it. So students have to sequence the sentences meaningfully so that the actual paragraph emerges. So it's a language task, but it's very small. It was a task for small children, not very probably in the primary 5th grade or something. And I think even something like that entails computational thinking. And then, so the one idea that came up was that suppose you start a story. There is a story that's coming up. And there are certain turning points in the story. So how does the story end? So then that students actually had to make a flow chart or a decision tree that if once you reach to this crossroad, I mean, the story follows a certain pattern. And once you reach to this crossroad, then the decision that you make, which way to go, will the end of the story will depend on that. So something like that. So, and of course, the focus was on the writing of the language and how to make the language grammatically correct and all that. But there was also creativity involved because children had to think of their own, make up their story basically. So something like this could also entail computational thinking, because when you're making a decision tree or a flow chart, that the story will end this way. Now, if I want this kind of ending, where should I start, and which is the point where I have to change the plot of the story? So I think we need to have such ideas even for the languages or for literature and other, subjects, social sciences and so on. And so we hope to get some interesting examples from teachers.
Yeah, I think pattern is also another thing which is most frequently used in science and even in languages. So you can come up with some ideas which revolve around the patterns.
So Geeta, we also have Manisha with us. Manisha Girolkar is there. And Manisha was one of the presenters for 2019, the first in-person conference that we had. Manisha, you want to share your experience? And then we can, we do have many activities with which, how do we take it ahead? Yeah, Sarita. And Geeta, will you answer? Sarita has a question in the chat box. So if you want to give her an example of an activity and explain to her how we can take it.
There's one on social science also.
It's in the chat box. So Geeta, just to brief you, CYDA is an organization which works with PCMC and Zilla Parishad schools, similar to our CADE model.
I ask one thing.
गाड़ियाँ नहीं आ रही ना, वहां से आएंगी ना गाड़ियाँ भी.
Hello.
Yeah, what's the question is, I am a social science teacher. Thinking of working on CT and understanding of climatic control. This being a topic which gets overwhelming for the students. I have created daily life analog for this simpler understanding. Is there any other way would you like to suggest would lead to delivery and understand? for this topic. Oh, so I think can we meet and understand better, like what kind of steps are taken by the school? Okay, I think this question needs more clarity. Then only we can think of how the aspect of city will solve this problem, or whether it's going towards that approach. Sounds good? Yeah?
Lekha, she can unmute herself and ask.
Lekha, yeah. Can you throw light on this question, Lekha, please?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, there are 6 climatic controls in grade 9th that have been mentioned, and students, the moment this chapter climate is announced, they dread it. You know, it's similar to some students having a block in their mind when it comes to maths. Something similar happens when this topic is announced, and then it is one of such topic which they feel, but otherwise sensing it around, or knowing that this let's say humidity in the climate has rose, and how do we realize, or the concepts that have been given under the headings are very textual, and they don't relate to that on a daily basis. So what I have done is, in the earlier grades, they have learned about the differences in the climates on the Earth's surface, and I take those references, so they know that the distribution of heat on the Earth's surface is varied, and the reasons for it. So with that reference, I take up the example of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is right in the middle of a desert, whereas its top is a snow-clad thing. And then I ask questions. What could be the reasons that in middle of a desert there is a mountain which has a snow cave? So this leads to many discussions, and on similar lines, I take up examples on wherein it helps them to understand. So I was trying to ask if there could be other ways around to explain the topic.
I think someone here has already responded, Rama. I think suggesting that if you could explain through the simulation models, so I think this would require a subject expert to sort of respond. And but yes, if ICT in some way can meaningfully, although any integration of ICT need not entail computational thinking, but one would have to see the possibilities that if ICT could play a role, or as somebody suggesting here, like use of Scratch and other such things to.
Yes, ma'am.
And also the essential framework of computational thinking, the decomposition, abstraction, and all of that. Is it possible to break down the teaching model into that? Not that frameworks always fit into everything we do. That's also, we need to be cautious about that also. But still, those 4 aspects might help you to structure your lesson and see if you can break your lesson into those 4 areas.
Right. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for your inputs.
Anyone else have any queries? Please feel free to ask.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I think we have
Can you hear
Manisha.
Yeah. Thanks. It's nice to see you all again. This is always wonderful session, Chai Pe Charcha. And as it is a casual conversation, teacher can ask the question just now. She was from my school only, Kalwadi school. And as you know, that from last 7 years in CSPathshala, and there were many teachers who have presented the papers on English and science and even Marathi and Hindi also. So this year also, all the teachers are really enthusiastic to participate. And the first time social studies teachers have come forward and they wanted to ask, they wanted to write some abstract. So Lekha and other teachers, they are try to put their ideas in the computational thinking way. So we really need your help. I know it is there, your support is always there. So let us see this year will also an enriching experience at answer. So let us see. Oh, and thank you all.
Thank you, Manisha. Sonia, would you like to add something more? Because I don't think
No,
so.
I think we can close the call, and in case they have, you put the email address. And my only request, feel free, please write your thoughts down. Don't worry at all. All of us are there. Even if you get stuck, you know, you can write to the CSPathshala email ID. We will respond. And any queries, you may think it's small, I'm telling you even now, but I'll tell you, in most meetings, I'm sure Jonaki, Geeta, we have Pratiksha, everybody will agree. We are just hoping, my God, my question seems too simple. Somebody else will ask. So we keep quiet. And then when you're like waiting, right? You know, we are all in this together. So please do not feel shy. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime. We're always there to help you. And we are looking forward to seeing abstracts and also seeing all of you at ISER for the conference. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.